Well, if you're a slightly frustrated Stoke City fan this week, then you're in good company. Should we have just pushed on a little bit more against Coventry? That's what we're exploring on this week's Where Potters Walk. Hope you're doing well. We've got George, Carl, Ryan, and Adam back with us. Fresh back from the Bet365, watching that 88th minute winner sail past Johansson. How are we all feeling? This week we're exploring, did Mark Robbins get that slightly wrong? Could we have been a little bit braver? We're also talking about the sacking season. Robbins is wanted by Norwich. What's the chances of which that he goes? Plus, we're talking about the Fair Play League this week. How dirty are Stoke City? We'll have a look at that in a second. Plus, stay at the end because we are going through the A to Z of Stoke and putting the letter F to our panel as well. Right, fellas. George, overriding emotions from that? Bit frustrating?
Yeah, a bit frustrated. I think Coventry were just a better team. I think first off, Man United had the brilliant opportunity to make it 1-0, but they had a couple of chances in the first half as well. I think Ashford made some brilliant blocks, but yeah, it was a tough game, but fair play to Coventry getting the 3 points in the end.
Yeah, Judge, they look like you, like they're going to be champions, do you think?
They were a good team. They battled well. We both battled well, but they were just the better team in the end.
Yeah, Bill says there's a clear reason why they're top. Not at all today. We go again at Leicester, yeah. Carl, some players frustrated you against Coventry? Was Manhoof has been called out by a few fans?
Yeah, I think the whole game was frustrating. I feel like we've gone after teams in the first 10, 15 minutes. We didn't do that. We give them far too much respect. We sort of sat very deep. I just think we should have gone for them because in the first half we did put pressure on them in one moment and they ended up kicking the ball out. You could see that if you put pressure on that back line, you'd get somewhere. We just give them far too much respect. And yeah, I think our best chance really fell to Manhoof. And again, he's so frustrating, such a frustrating player. He's a great player. I finally put my hands up and say he is a good player. I know why I always slate him, but his decision making is shocking. If he's through on goal, he'll try and pass it to somebody. If he's got 6 defenders in front, he'll try and curl one in the top corner. That is Manhoof to a T. He's very frustrating.
Okay. Adam Stoke on top says it was the wrong squad. I don't know how Junho got a whole game and Mubama wasn't on it today. But boring game, nothing good. You can't do anything about the finish. It was just that good. Yeah. Do you agree? Just too many players off it?
I don't think it was too many plays off it. I think Coventry were just a better team. I think they did a really good job of nullifying what has been our strength all season, the wing play. They doubled up on both sides, which I think it's why Juno had probably one of his best games because there was probably a little bit more space down the middle for Juno to play in. But we know he's not the most effective player, whereas those wing players are far more effective. Their left back had the reading of Manhoof all day, other than the one chance he had. And Mason Clark was so attacking down that left hand side that our right hand side, where Chimedu's been partnering up with Manhoof, he was rendered ineffective all game because he couldn't go wandering up and supporting with Mason Clark always looking a threat coming down our right or left hand side. So yeah, beaten by a better team on the day, but very heartening that we only lost through a wonder strike, if you like. It's one of them games where it won't be the tale of our season. There's more important games than that one to come for us.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Gary says we lost to a good side, no question. Our progress over a short time is still remarkable, but on the game, Baker plays that Junho position better. And also we need another striker in January, which of course we're sick of saying. Do you agree on the Baker point though, Ryan?
Yeah, Baker is just an all-round quality footballer, and everyone knows that. I mean, the strange decision when we loaned him out to Blackburn, I think 9 out of 10 fans said, like, why are we doing that? Come back into the team when he got recalled and was just phenomenal, and he just does that better job. I mean, I can't. People have said on Twitter, Jono did well, and I thought he did all right. But yeah, Baker just all round is obviously the better in that role position. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Robin's substitutions have been called out by some people as well. Anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, he's very frustrating with his subs. Yeah, he's
too late.
I think he's too late, but I think the problem with it is I think he thinks it's going to plan, and again, we lost by a wonder strike. I think he's thinking we were quite effective. We were keeping them at bay. Really, they weren't threatening. And I think that is our strongest side. We've said often enough this season that we're a lot weaker on the bench. And I think he was just hoping that we'd see the game through. But
Pearson should have come way earlier than he should. He was frustrated. He was on a yellow card. You could tell he was riling up, and for some reason, he let him just carry on a bit longer. And I would have thought Mark Robbins would know to bring him off at that point. Frustrating. I think we made the first sub at probably the 80th minute, something like that, and we didn't seem to have that real threat. So I thought maybe would have changed up that midfield because it seems they were opening it up a bit.
I nipped on that podcast the other day with Coventry fans, and they were asking about Robbins, and they said, does he still do subs in like the 80th minute? So that must just be a trait of his. Like I say, I think that game could have changed slightly, maybe, if he'd tuned the midfield up a little bit more and got some fresh legs in it.
I think a Rigo substitution a bit earlier, I think, might have changed that game. It was frustrating. Yeah, that's so frustrating how he does that.
I still think, how many times we've said it this season, when our plan A isn't working, we haven't got a plan B. You look at the Wrexham game, the one they lost, where Wrexham were really poor in the first half, and second half they just went long to Kiefer Moore, and they just banged balls up to him, and that's what we needed to do to be a bit more effective when we couldn't do anything else yesterday. But we've got nobody on the bench to lob balls to of that ilk. So whatever substitutions he was going to make, yes, Rigo might have made a bit of a difference. I don't think it had a whole serious change of the result.
Oxford as well. Briefly talk about that because, of course, that's happened since we've there. George, what impressed you about Oxford?
Yeah, attacking wise, they're brilliant, and again, Baker played brilliant at a number 10 role. I was getting 2 goals and assists. It felt like a home in that is because we dominated that game so much. Fair, we could have been 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes, but we controlled that game really well and got the 3 points in the end.
Yeah. Well, the Coventry game had a weird atmosphere to start with it, Carl. We've talked to them about this on their podcast. I don't know what your view of it was. Andrew said it's all nice winning, but let's not let that overshadow disrespecting the minute silence after that post. I don't know if you were near the Coventry fans there, but they've been called out for it online by Stoke fans. What was your view of it?
Yeah, I think they got a bit of confusion. They played the last post. The last post finished. They all started cheering. It's a minority. I'm not going to label them all. I've learned that Coventry fans on social media, they're a very entitled bunch, aren't they? So probably upset a lot of them. But yeah, it was bang out of order. It wasn't a lot of them. It was probably, I don't know whether they were coming out of getting a beer and that, but you could hear them singing Blue Army, Sky Blue Army, or whatever it was they were singing. I hate that because obviously I've got grandparents who've been in the war, and I always find the remembrance a special occasion, and it should be marked with respect. There was a few numpties and the Coventry end that didn't adhere to it. I've also seen somebody said, yeah, but Stoke fans did it. From where I was sat, I didn't hear no Stoke fans. I heard a couple shouting, shut up. But yeah, it's not good, is it? But you can't label them all with the same brush because where I sit, I'm there. The away fans are there. I'd say this section were all relatively silent. It was just the odd numpty.
Yeah. I think the criticism came because it was... Sorry.
Yeah, there was Stoke fans in the booth, and I sit right at the back of the booth in block 20, and there was a few that did exactly the same as the end of the last post played. A couple of them cheered and went up. I mean, it wasn't as many as the Coventry fans. You could hear the Coventry fans from our end of the ground, but it happens. Unfortunately, it happens at every ground. There's always a few idiots, isn't there, that just forget, even though it was signposted on the screens, like how they don't see it.
Yeah, that's what the Stoke fans online were pointing out. Is like, look, we told you what was happening. This is it was on the big screen. So
it actually got posted on Twitter a couple of times. Stand out like and say, we've had to post this 3 times to get it in people's heads, and yet it still didn't cement in certain people's heads.
Yeah. Okay. Right then, let's move on. An international break to follow then, and then as soon as we come back from that, we're straight, of course, at Leicester, and then we've got an old friend visiting Ryan for the next home game. We'll chat more about Mr. Jones in the next one, but Yeah, he's not going to get a nice reception, is he?
I would say probably not, only because of how much of a I can't use the phrase because it's bad language, but just an idiot when he just every single club he goes to, he kisses the badge. He doesn't mean it. He's just in that moment, and he just plays not very good football, to be honest. But yeah, he's going to get not a good reception.
Okay. We'll talk more about Charlton's visit, of course, in the next week. If you've just come across the channel, then grateful to have your company. We're massively thankful for all the comments we had last week. Yeah, I mean, does the world need any more Stoke content? Probably not, but we're going to do it anyway because we enjoy it. So thanks so much. Thanks so much for if you can drop a subscribe. Right. Lost my microphone. In terms of managers, Adam, Southampton, Norwich, Middlesbrough, all looking for a new one as of this weekend. Mark Robbins is definitely on the Norwich list. Do you see him going anywhere?
No, absolutely not. I think we talked a little bit about it last week. It'd be foolish, very foolish. I mean, nothing surprises me in football anymore. Let's be honest. Anything can happen, but I would be very, very surprised given the comments he comes out with. He seems very loyal to a T, unlike the previous manager we've just talked about there. But yeah, I'm in no danger. I think Middlesbrough are linked with one of our previous managers, aren't they? I've seen him mentioned with Alex Neil earlier today, so that'll be interesting to see if he goes there. But no, I'm not worried about Robbins going anywhere.
Okay, right, good stuff. We're looking at the letter F this week and not A to Z, so we thought it only good to talk about the Fair Play League because it kind of has a ring to it. Carl, where do you reckon Stoke sits? Don't forget this is a league where you used to be, old time Stoke, used to be right at the top of this for red cards and yellow cards. What have you seen and where do you think you are on the back of that?
I would say about mid-table, about 10th, and probably most of that's from Junior Shamadou. He just always gets a yellow card, and obviously
10 yellow cards already.
I know we've got him and we've got Ben Pearson as well, haven't we? They're both yellow cards waiting to happen. We haven't had nobody sent off this season, have we? Not that I can recall.
Barmer, Southampton.
Yeah. Okay, for that reason, I'll put us about 8th then.
Yeah, 10th. Well, you should have stuck with 10th. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, mid-table. Yeah. I mean, George, do you see a tenacity about this Stoke side? Do you see a bit of snarl in the tackle and a bit of fight to them, or do you think they're a bit soft?
Well, mostly Shamadou because he's almost got 10 yellow cards already, but you got to fight for the badge, don't you, sometimes, but he gets over the top a bit, Shamadou does.
Okay.
I think a lot of doing clever tackles, actually, and just getting boot for it. We know we have to be honest, but Shamadou is a liability, yellow card waiting.
Shamadou is, yeah. He's definitely the new Pearson, isn't he? And I feel like Pearson's actually, I don't know if it's the introduction of Secco that's made Pearson a little bit more calmer in his approach. I think Pearson's position was probably never in danger last season. There was nobody to compete with, where I think Secco's having a brilliant season. So I think Pearson knows that if he's suspended for half the amount of time he has been in his Stoke career, that his position is under threat. So he seems to be reeling it in a little bit this season. So yeah, we're not a dirty team by any means.
What I will say while we're on tackles, I know it's not quite related to it. I think Ben Wilmot and Phillips deserve a massive shout out for yesterday. I know we've already touched on the football, but them pair yesterday were absolutely class above they were.
It's annoying where like Lawler, everyone's been on about that with Lawler coming in. I'm just pointing that out as well. Like we've got such a strong back line, and it's brilliant to see this season.
Okay. Wonderful. Right, to finish off with then, we're on the A to Z of Stoke City. We're up to letter F this week. We did quite well with E last week. Thanks for all the shout-outs we got in the comments as well. If you're new to this, then we've gone through all the letters from A to Z. We're up to F. One entry. It could be a player. It could be a stadium. It could be a famous memory. Where are we heading with this one? Ryan?
FA Cup. Purely for the semi-final that I went to. We won that game and I cried. And I was 11 years old and it was the best day of my whole life. and still to this day, still is the best day. And we went on that tremendous run. Shame to lose against a Man City team that weren't actually that much better than us. But FA Cup for me, it's a brilliant competition, and we've had many good times in there. So that's the one.
Cool.
I think I could be wrong, but I think there can only be one answer here. Ricardo Fuller.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player. I can remember watching an interview with John Terry, and they said to him he was one of the hardest players that you've come up against in recent times, and he said, you may laugh at this, but Ricardo Fuller, because he doesn't know what he's doing with his legs, so how am I supposed to work it out? There's many stories about him. I remember purely saying one game, Ricardo had been missing and he got on the coach mega late. They didn't know whether he was going to play. He was that angry, kept him on the bench up until the 80th minute. He'd come on, scored a wonder goal and put us in the driving seat for promotion. He was just a joy to watch, a real joy to watch.
Yeah. Adam?
I mean, yeah, the correct answer's Fuller, isn't it? I'm going to put a shout in there for Abdullah Faye. One of the best signings we made in the Premier League era. I think £3 million from Newcastle, and for 18 months it's still the best defensive. I know we go on about Shawcross and how much of a legend he is, but for 18 months Abdullah Faye was the best defender I've seen in a Stoke shirt. He was an absolute colossal. But yeah, Fuller's the right answer.
Yeah. George?
Yeah, Fuller for me.
Okay. Right, Fuller House then. FA Cup is decent shout round, but we'll have to go with
Could give a special shout out to Frankie Fielding, because he's been with us for years. Nobody knows what he does, and he's still there now. He will get a new contract.
He's key in that back room. I think that's what's piecing the squad together. A lot of them have said it. So Frankie Fielding is a special mention, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's about 55, isn't he now? He's getting his bus pass soon. He's still knocking around.
Bro. Right, thank you very much, of course, for watching. Drop us a like and subscribe. We'll see you, of course, in 2 weeks' time as we look ahead to the Leicester game. Thanks very much.